Your driver license might not get you through airport security anymore, and most travelers have no idea. 2025 brought shocking changes to Transportation Security Administration checkpoints that have already caused thousands of people to miss flights, have their belongings confiscated, and face hour-long delays at security. Some of these changes make travel easier, but others could strand you at the airport if you show up unprepared. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments what city you are watching from and what time it is there. I am always curious where everyone is tuning in from. By the end of this video, you will know the surprising changes catching travelers off guard, what items are now banned that you probably packed, and exactly what you need to do before your next flight to avoid being denied boarding. The biggest shock happened on May 7, 2025, when Transportation Security Administration began full enforcement of real ID requirements, and the number of unprepared travelers was staggering. After nearly 2 decades of delays since Congress passed the act in 2005, the final deadline arrived with no more extensions. Every traveler 18 and older now needs a Real ID compliant license with a star symbol in the upper right corner, or an acceptable alternative like a passport to board domestic flights. Here is what caught people off guard. Roughly 19% of travelers nationwide were not compliant when enforcement began, meaning millions faced additional screening that added 15 minutes to over an hour at checkpoints. But the real shock is what happens if you have neither a compliant license nor a passport. You must undergo extensive identity verification, including detailed questioning, and some travelers have been completely denied boarding when they could not provide sufficient proof of identity. The days of casually flying with an expired license ended permanently. Stories flooded social media of travelers missing weddings, business meetings, and family emergencies because they showed up with the wrong identification and had no way to board their flights. What made this worse was confusion about which documents count as acceptable alternatives. Many travelers showed up with birth certificates or social security cards, only to learn these do not work. The only alternatives are a valid United States passport, passport card, global entry card, military identification, or permanent resident card. College IDs, even from state universities, do not count. Employee badges do not count unless they are specific federal credentials. This caught countless business travelers and students off guard. The confusion multiplied because Transportation Security Administration used phased enforcement, meaning different airports implemented rules on different schedules. Travelers flew out from one city without issues using a non-compliant license, then faced denial on their return flight. Some airports gave warnings for weeks, while others started strict enforcement immediately, creating a lottery-like situation where your ability to fly depended on which airport you happened to be using. The second change that shocked travelers involves something nearly everyone packs: portable phone chargers. Following a 42% spike in lithium battery incidents between 2018 and 2023, including fires that forced emergency evacuations, Transportation Security Administration and Federal Aviation Administration banned power banks from checked luggage entirely. The reason is terrifying. Lithium-ion batteries can undergo thermal runaway, generating intense heat and fire. In the cargo hold, these fires spread quickly and are nearly impossible to control, putting the entire aircraft at risk. The trigger for this crackdown was a January 2025 incident on an Air Busan flight in South Korea, where nearly 180 passengers had to evacuate before takeoff after a lithium battery fire broke out. Similar incidents occurred on multiple flights throughout early 2025, with crew members battling smoking devices and passengers panicking as smoke-filled cabins. These were not isolated cases. Federal Aviation Administration records show these battery incidents happen far more frequently than most travelers realize, with dozens of events each month across commercial aviation. All power banks and spare batteries must now go in carry-on bags only, and here is the part catching people off guard. Any power bank without a clearly visible watt-hour rating can be confiscated at security. Those cheap chargers from random online sellers that lack proper labeling are getting seized by the thousands. If you accidentally pack a power bank in checked luggage, you must return to the check-in counter to retrieve it, and many travelers have missed flights because of this. Gate agents now routinely ask passengers checking bags at the gate if they contain any lithium batteries, because once that bag goes to cargo, retrieving it becomes a logistical nightmare. The situation becomes even worse during peak travel times when security lines are already long and baggage retrieval can take 30 minutes or more. making it nearly impossible to retrieve your bag, recheck it properly, and still make your flight. Southwest Airlines went even further in May 2025, becoming the first carrier to require passengers to keep charging devices visible and in plain sight while using them during flight. You can no longer charge your phone with a power bank tucked in your bag or overhead bin. Flight attendants now actively monitor the cabin for hidden charging devices, and passengers violating the policy face warnings and potential removal from future flights. Other airlines are watching closely and may adopt the same policy soon. On the positive side, July 8th brought a welcome surprise when Department of Homeland Security eliminated the shoes-off policy that had been mandatory since 2006. All travelers, not just TSA PreCheck members, can now keep shoes on at checkpoints equipped with advanced CT scanners. However, implementation varies wildly by airport. You might keep shoes on at departure but have to remove them on your return flight at an airport still using older equipment. This inconsistency continues confusing travelers who expect uniform rules. The new computed tomography scanners create three-dimensional images of everything inside your bags, detecting threats that older X-ray machines would miss. These scanners are the same technology used in medical CT scans, adapted for security screening. They can identify explosive materials, weapons, and prohibited items without requiring passengers to remove laptops, tablets, or liquids from bags. The problem is that installing these scanners is expensive and time-consuming, so the rollout has been uneven across the country. The liquids rule changes have created even more chaos. Transportation Security Administration approved 11 exemptions to the 311 rule, but only at airports with new CT scanners like Atlanta, JFK, and Los Angeles. Prescription medications, baby formula, hand sanitizer up to 12 ounces, and several other items can now exceed the 3.4-ounce limit at these locations. The problem is, most travelers do not know which airports have the technology, and the exemptions vanish completely if you connect through any international airport. People are packing based on departure airport rules, then getting items confiscated at their connection. The 11 exempt categories include prescription medications in original packaging, over-the-counter medicines, ice packs and gel packs for medical use, baby formula and breast milk, regardless of quantity, hand sanitizer up to 12 ounces, contact lens solution, frozen liquids and gels that are solid at checkpoint, live fish in water-filled containers, biological samples for scientific purposes, wet batteries for medical equipment, duty-free purchases in sealed bags with receipt showing purchase within 48 hours, and fresh eggs in original packaging. These exemptions represent a significant relaxation of rules that have frustrated travelers for nearly 2 decades, but the limited implementation means most people still cannot take advantage of them. Another surprise that caught travelers unprepared involves facial recognition technology that is now standard at many checkpoints. The new CAT-2 systems scan your face and verify your identity automatically without speaking to an officer. While this speeds up the process, many travelers had no idea their biometric data was being captured. Transportation Security Administration says participation is voluntary and you can opt out, but most people do not realize this is even happening until they are standing at the scanner. The facial recognition system works by comparing your live face to the photo on your identification document and cross-referencing it with other photos the Department of Homeland Security has on file, including passport photos and visa applications. The system can verify your identity in less than 2 seconds, significantly faster than manual verification. However, privacy advocates have raised concerns about biometric data collection, despite Transportation Security Administration assurances that images are deleted immediately after verification. Some travelers report feeling uncomfortable with the technology, especially when the system fails to recognize them due to recent weight changes, new hairstyles, or even just different lighting conditions, forcing them into secondary screening anyway. Perhaps the most obscure change involves banned items in checked luggage. As of August 25th, cordless curling irons and flat irons with gas cartridges are now prohibited in checked bags due to fire risk from flammable butane. Thousands of travelers have had expensive hairstyling tools confiscated because they did not know about this new restriction. These join the growing list of items banned specifically from checked luggage that many travelers still try to pack. The hair tool ban came after incidents where gas cartridges leaked or ruptured in the cargo hold, creating fire hazards. These styling tools use butane gas cartridges to heat up without being plugged in, making them popular for travel, Now they are completely prohibited in checked bags, and even in carry-on bags, they must have the gas cartridge removed and the safety cover securely fitted over the heating element. Many travelers have shown up with these tools packed away, only to have them confiscated at security or during gate checks. Transportation Security Administration also expanded family security lanes through the Families on the Fly program, which launched in mid-2025 and continues expanding into 2026. Dedicated lanes at Orlando, Charlotte, and several other airports now give families with children under 12 their own space to navigate security without rushing. These lanes feature wider tables, extra bins for strollers and car seats, and officers trained specifically for family screening. The program also offers a $15 discount on TSA pre-check enrollment for families, though this discount expires December 31st, 2025. So what do you absolutely need to do before your next flight? First, check your driver license right now for that real ID star. If it is not there, you need a passport or you will face extensive delays and possible denial of boarding. Do not wait until the week before your trip, because getting a real ID appointment at your state Department of Motor Vehicles can take weeks or months depending on where you live. Some states are experiencing wait times of 6 to 8 weeks for appointments. When you do visit the DMV, bring your current license, proof of social security number, and 2 documents proving your residential address such as utility bills or bank statements, because without these exact documents, your application will be rejected. Second, check every power bank and portable charger you own. If it does not have a clearly visible watt-hour rating printed on the device, replace it before you travel. Pack all chargers in carry-on only, never in checked bags, or you will be returning to the ticket counter and possibly missing your flight. The watt-hour rating is usually printed somewhere on the body of the power bank, often on the back or bottom. Third, assume the 311 liquids rule still applies unless you are absolutely certain your specific airport has CT scanners and exemptions. The safer approach is following the old rules everywhere and being pleasantly surprised if you encounter looser restrictions, rather than having items confiscated because you assumed all airports changed. The Transportation Security Administration website has a list of airports with advanced CT scanners, but this list is constantly being updated. Fourth, add 30 extra minutes to your arrival time for the next few months. These rule changes are still causing confusion and delays as both travelers and transportation security officers adjust to the new procedures. The cost of missing a flight far exceeds the inconvenience of arriving early. During peak travel periods like holidays and summer vacation season, consider adding even more buffer time. Fifth, if you have TSA pre-check, make sure your known traveler number is included in every flight reservation. This ensures you can use expedited lanes where available, keep your shoes on, and leave laptops and liquids in your bag. If you do not have TSA pre-check yet, the program costs $85 for 5 years and pays for itself after just a few trips in time saved and stress reduced. Many credit cards also offer reimbursement for the application fee as a cardholder benefit. The changes from 2025 are not going away. More airports will adopt these technologies and policies throughout 2026, but implementation will remain inconsistent across locations. The key to smooth travel is assuming the strictest version of every rule applies to you, then being prepared with proper identification, correctly packed batteries, and realistic expectations about security wait times. The Transportation Security Administration is moving toward a technology-driven future, but we are in an awkward transition period where the rules you face depend entirely on which specific airport and checkpoint you encounter. Download the MyTSA app to check real-time wait times and specific checkpoint information for your airport before you leave home. Stay informed, prepare in advance, and you will navigate these changes without becoming another traveler caught off guard at security.